Welcome to Enstone. For the past 20 years, this place has built a string of race and championship winning Formula One cars, from the days of Tolman and Benetton to Renault and now the Lotus F1 Team. We're here at the iconic factory today to launch the new E20. The E standing for, yeah, you've guessed it, Enstone. In just a few minutes, we'll be getting our very first glimpse at this latest creation from the legendary team. We'll be meeting the drivers, the team principals, and we've got F1 broadcaster and journalist Will Buxton roaming these very corridors, looking to chat to the people who make this team exactly what it is.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. I'm going to be scouring the corridors here at Enstone and talking to a range of people who have helped to shape not only the history of this team, but also who have helped to create the fabulous E20, which we see launched today. And of course, we all know what this is about. It is about bringing these World Championship trophies back home to Enstone. And of course, the team has a new employee this year, and he is a man who knows only too well just what it takes to win this piece of silverware here.
We need more.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come. Yeah. Okay, this is it. The time has finally arrived to unveil the new car. I've been joined by the Lotus F1 team drivers, Kimi Räikkönen and Romain Grosjean, to do the honours. Gentlemen, please derobe the new E20. First things first, welcome back to F1.
Thanks a lot.
I think you've been missed.
I don't know. I'm happy to be back, so that's the main thing.
Now, you're on the grid this year as one of 6 F1 champions. You've seen that Michael Schumacher's come back as an ex-champion, and he's probably not having the time that he thought he would. Are you nervous about your comeback?
Not really. I mean, it will be something slightly different than it used to be when I was in Formula One with a different team. A little bit different regulations, but everybody's different. Some people have more difficulties to get used to the new stuff, and it depends a lot on the car also. If you have a good car, it makes your life much easier than if you have an average car. So I was pretty happy after the first test we did a few weeks ago, and it felt pretty normal already, so I think it will be okay, but before the first race, it's very difficult to say still, so we'll wait and see. But I'm happy so far how the things is going.
You're part of a team with quite a rich history as well.
Yeah, I think the people knows how to build a good car, and of course, even the biggest teams cannot produce every year the winning car. So, I mean, they are very capable people, and they have a good feeling about the things, and they're pushing hard. So hopefully we get the good results, and the people get what they deserve.
Kimi, it's been an absolute pleasure. All the best for the 2012 season.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Kimi Räikkönen. I've been joined here by Romain Grosjean. Now, although your teammate, Kimi, is an F1 world champion, you're a world champion yourself, but in GP2. So does that inspire you with confidence?
Hopefully. No, I think last year, 2011, was a fantastic season for myself. With the GP2 title, the Friday morning with the team, and all the time I could spend with the guys on the racetrack as a third driver. And I'm feeling quite good before the season. Very happy to be here for sure. I'm very proud to be chosen as one of the drivers.
Do you think that you're going to learn a lot from Kimi? It's going to be a bit of a mentoring situation. Or do you think you might be able to show him a thing or two?
Well, so far I have a little bit more knowledge about the Pierre tires, but no, I think I will be able to get a lot from him. We need to work hand in the end to bring the team as forward as possible, which is our main goal. And as I said, I'm very happy to be alongside him. It's good for me, it's good for the team, and hopefully we can make something strong. We are all expecting a lot about this year. I've seen the car almost from the beginning to the end of the building, which has been nice to spend with the guys and the fire up and so on. And I think we're all expecting to see what will be the car on track. And after the first 4 days of testing, I think we will have a good idea of how we will be during the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, Romain Grosjean. Well, where are you at?
If you've ever wondered just how many people it takes to design a Formula One car, take a look around here. We are in the very heart of Enstone's design office, and the guys already hard at work, running their fingers to the bone on the iterations of the E20, which we'll see at the opening races of the 2012 Formula One season. And in here, a very important man indeed, Phil Adey, who is the design office manager. Phil, thank you so much for welcoming us here today. And you haven't been with the team very long, just 5 weeks, as I understand it. But even so, seeing this car launch today, it must be a great occasion.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, even though I've been only here 5 weeks, I've not been involved in the design, but you can see all the efforts all the designers have been putting in over the last few months, and obviously their efforts come to a culmination with the launch. So it's really satisfying on their behalf as well as from a natural interest.
Now, we've been speaking today to people who've been involved with this team for a number of years. You yourself, just 5 weeks, but how have you found it here and how are you settling in at Enstone?
Yeah, it's a very, very nice place. I think that what you have here is you have a nice, tight, compact team who are, have been in Formula One for a long time, but there's a lot of excitement. It's a new season, a new car, new driver lineup. I think there's a lot of excitement about Kimi joining the team. There's a real buzz about the place, and you can't help but feel that.
And finally, I guess the one question that I'd like to know is there anything here that's, I guess, taken you by surprise since you've joined?
Yeah, I think one thing that has surprised me, we have a graduate training program for young graduates who want to become designers to get a foothold in a team like this. And you can see young guys, young women come into this as an engineering and really enjoy it. And that is quite unique and special. And yeah, that's a real pleasant surprise.
Couldn't agree with you more, Phil. Thank you very much for your time. And there we go. Just goes to show on the day that the team launches their newest challenger, Lotus F1 Team, already looking to the future.
I'm with Jerome D'Ambrosio, the third driver in the Lotus team. Now, this is an interesting time for you because you had a season with another Formula One team in 2011. This time, you've sacrificed the drive to move up to a higher caliber team.
Yes, exactly. I think this is definitely a great opportunity for me. As you said, I've sacrificed the fact of being driving, which is obviously something we love to do, and it's probably something I'll miss highly this year. But I think for the future, it's definitely a great opportunity for me to be third driver and to move up in the team ladder, let's say it like that. My goal is to stay in F1 as long as I can, and I think that goes through being involved with the top team.
Jerome D'Ambrosio, ladies and gentlemen.
You join me in yet another corridor here in Enstone, this time a slightly curved one, which is opening up into what I can only describe as a very open, airy, breezy room, certainly one for blue sky thinking. And a man who knows all about blue sky thinking is marketing account manager Luca Mazzocco. Luca, great to see you. Now, you've been here a fair while, you've seen launches happen before, but does this one feel any different to you at all?
Well, in a way, it's always like the night before the exam because there's been a lot of preparation. We've been working on very hard, but nobody really knows right now where you are on the grid. So there's a lot of tension, and it's every year the same story. But this year, it's very special because for the first time we are Lotus to all effects. And after a few years we have another Formula One champion driving for us in Kimi. That of course puts a bit of extra pressure and excitement.
Absolutely, pressure and excitement. But I guess in your time here also, there's been a lot of happiness, a lot of great memories. What's the one memory that you, I guess, hold most fondly?
I think definitely winning the 2 World Championships, drivers and constructors in 2005 and 6.
It's a great memory to have. And listen, I'm going to put you on the spot. My final question to you. You're a marketing man. So give me 3 words that encapsulate this team.
Well, the first one I would say family, because that's what this team has become for me after all this time. Second, kaleidoscope of knowledge, which is nearly humbling when you realize. And maybe commitment, because that's another important factor in what we do here.
Excellently surmised. A kaleidoscope of family and commitment. The Lotus F1 team. Johnny, back to you.
Thank you, Will. Now, I've been joined by the team principal, Eric Boullier. Eric, your team is known for its technical innovations and aggressive design. Have you yet come up with a device to make Kimi smile on command?
I think we can find any device, you know, we can make our driver smiling, but yes, it's true that the team is a reputation is good in terms of innovation, and we brought through the last years some nice ones, some, let's say, more delicate one, but definitely we have some this year.
Now, you've got a whole new driver lineup this year, so tell me why you've chosen this particular partnership of guys.
I think we obviously, I mean, in the case of Kimi, you know, I mean, his world championship is talking for itself, you know, and we clearly want a driver with experience. He came from big teams and he's got a huge experience, and he's very eager to do, and he's fast, you know. And for Romain, we want to nurture a young driver with great talent. He achieved a lot in the junior category, and we actually monitored him a lot, and we know what he's capable to do, and we just expect him to deliver as well.
Now, you've worked in a whole variety of different motorsports before, so is this job the toughest job you've ever had?
I would lie if I would say no. You know, obviously, yes. It's obviously more challenging, and you have much more responsibilities, but you enjoy much more as well.
What are your biggest hopes and biggest fears?
Biggest hopes is obviously to bring again this positive upward spiral, you know, to make sure that this team is back on the front of the grid, and for many years and for a long time, and also to have all the people in Enstone enjoying their life here and enjoying their passion about motor racing and Formula One. Obviously, the fear is that we can have anything wrong which you cannot expect or handle, and which would slow down this process.
Eric, I wish you all the best for the season ahead. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Boullier. Right, Will, where are you?
Thank you, Johnny. It may look like I am in, yes, another corridor here in Enstone, but I'm in fact on one of the Lotus F1 Team's many race trucks, and I am joined by the team's spare parts travelling coordinator, Jenny Moore. Now, Jenny, you're responsible for not only the spare parts, but vast majority of the internals of the car. So without you, the E20 really doesn't get put together, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, I'm in charge of the suspension and a lot of the mechanical parts that I can't really tell you anything more about, I'm afraid.
Okay, I won't push you on that then. Obviously, the launch of the E20 today, it's a huge occasion for everyone here at Enstone. How does it make you feel to see that car launched to the world?
Very proud, yes. We work very hard here all year round, all the designers and everybody in the machine shop and fabrication and alike and composites work really hard to make sure that we have the parts we need to build it. So to actually sort of see it going together, yes, it's very proud.
And you travel with the team to all of the F1 races around the world. When the car rolls out for the first time in Melbourne, what's that going to feel like? I bet you're just sort of hoping it comes back in one piece.
Yes, that's right. Very exciting. Yes, for me, if the car comes back in one piece, it does make my my time there a lot easier. So it means that I don't have to order quite so many parts for the next race. So, but yes, it's very exciting to be there and to be on the grid at the first race. And yeah, you can feel the tension and things, so it's good fun. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Jenny, thank you very much. And Johnny, I think we may well have found the most important person yet, because without Jenny, the car quite simply won't run.
Nice work, Will, but I believe I've found someone equally important to Enstone. It's the technical director, James Allison. Now, this is your latest creation, of course, the E20. Formula One being what it is, the rule book changes nigh on every year, and you've got to keep up with it and make sure the car's legal. How does this car differ from the previous version?
Well, it differs in thousands of ways, but if we're talking about just the rule changes, there are a number for 2012, but there are two particularly visually obvious rule changes which all the cars are going to feature and which will be very clear to any observer of the sport.
The exhausts were in a different place last year, very different place on the Lotus. They were much further up the front side exit. So now the rule changes, you can't do that anymore. Correct?
No, last year all of the cars cottoned on to the fact that there was a lot of downforce to be extracted from using the energy that's available in the exhaust pipes. We ran a particularly novel system, as you say, where we exited our exhaust right up at the front of the car. But most people, they had a system that exited somewhere in front of the rear wheels. So as a sport, we decided that we would try to just calm things down a bit for the following season. And a new set of exhaust regulations was conceived where instead of being allowed the freedom to blow that exhaust at the underside of the car, we're constrained now to exit the exhaust in a part of the car where it's much harder to generate downforce. So if we look at the back of our car here now, the rule confines us to exiting our exhaust in a box that's sort of about that size and about that high. Up at the front of the car, it's a very obvious change. If you look at the car, there's a very distinctive slope to our nose here. The reason for this is that if you look at the development of Formula One cars over the preceding few years, you'll gradually notice that the height of the nose was coming up and up and up. And the reason for that is that, rather like the exhaust blown diffusers, there's more downforce if you raise the bodywork at the front end of the car. A problem with that high nose is that eventually the tip of the nose can get to a height at which, if there were to be a T-bone crash where one car hits nose on into the side of the other car, then the tip of the nose can be so high that it actually exceeds the height of the cockpit rail of the other car. And clearly that's a very poor situation because you don't want the driver's head having a nose slamming into it from the side.
No.
And so for this year, we agreed that the tips of the noses all had to be lowered a considerable amount. But the rule itself doesn't require the entire front of the car to be lower. It only requires the tip of the nose back to about here to be lowered so that that can't go above the cockpit rail.
James, thank you ever so much. Thank you. Right, Mr. Buxton, your last chance to find an Enstone legend.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. You join me down here in fabrication, which is the beating heart of the Lotus F1 team. And I'm going to introduce you to a man named Chris Martin. Now, I know what you're thinking. What is the lead singer of Coldplay doing here at Enstone? It isn't, in fact, him. It is, however, the longest standing member of staff. Chris, just how long have you been here and how many changes have you seen at the team over those years?
31 years I've been here in April. And it's just got bigger and bigger as the years have gone on. We started off with about 45 people. And there it's up to 500 and something. So.
Huge changes, but of course today sees the launch of the E20, named for Enstone. So many of the parts on that car, of course, put together by you boys down here in fabrication. Must be a huge feeling of pride seeing it all come together.
It is, yes. It's we always, every year we do the same sort of thing, but it's always a good feeling at this time of year when we see the car launched and ready for the track.
Now, 31 years, of course, it's a huge amount of time to be employed at one team. But what is it about being here at Enstone and with this team that's kept you here for as long? Must be something pretty special.
It is. I mean, it's a good bunch of lads. We're all very skillful, and I've never had any reason to leave. It's always been a good place to work. Nice and clean environment and good.
Chris, thanks very much. Johnny, back to you.
I have here the man that oversees the entire operation. It's Lotus F1 Team Chairman, Gerard Lopez. You've put a world champion in one of your cars. Now that's a bold statement. What are your hopes, firstly, for 2012?
I think the hopes are to be able to get one season together in the way we were already expecting last year. That is to have a strong car, strong drivers, of which one of them is obviously a next world champion. And then, to bring the car up to the front of the pack, probably trying to aim for fourth as a reasonable goal for this season. We're obviously, quite proud this year to count the Unilever group with the two brands Rexona and Clear on the car. We're also extremely proud that finally, the Lotus name is a clear concept for everybody in Formula One now.
Gerard Lopez. Thanks to Gerard and all the team here at Enstone. Please check the Lotus F1 website for pictures and more details. That's it. Goodbye from us. Here's the new E20. Goodbye.